Well, as the old adage goes, defense wins championships. And in Game 7 of the Western Conference semis, the Minnesota Timberwolves reminded us and the defending world champion Denver Nuggets of that stark reality, as there is nothing left to defend now for Denver, as their season has abruptly ended in the second round. And there will officially be a new team crowned champion in 2024. And looking back at it all now, it is nothing shy of an absolute miracle that the Nuggets have won anything at all with the criminally negligent amount of supporting filth this organization has surrounded the great Nikola Jokic with.
It's a complete crap.
And if there is any question left to be asked about how and why this guy has 3 of the last 4 league MVPs, let this game, and more importantly this entire series, serve as your answer. Now, credit where credit is due to the walking garbage can Jamal Murray, who actually showed up in a big way for this Game 7. He came in averaging just 15.7 points per game on 38.7% shooting for the first 6 games of this series, but had a massive first half to help lead the Nuggets to a 15-point advantage at halftime. While Murray largely vanished in the second half, he still more than handled his end of the arrangement for this game, finishing the night with 35 points on 13 of 27 from the field, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. And then there was the MVP, Nikola Jokic, with 34 points, 19 rebounds, and 7 assists on 13 of 28 from the field in 46 minutes. Unfortunately, he was entirely gassed out for the entire fourth quarter since he had to play every minute of the entire second half, sitting out only for a brief 2-minute respite in the first half. And despite Murray and Jokic combining for 69 points on 47% shooting in this game, it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough despite the Timberwolves' all-everything rising star Anthony Edwards scoring only 16 points on 6 of 24 from the field. Yeah, and you would think amid his struggles and Jokic and Murray's big nights, the Nuggets would have cruised in this game. But ultimately though, the overwhelming team advantage for the Timberwolves, which showed itself for large stretches of this entire series, was just too much for the Nuggets to overcome last night. And Anthony Edwards' team, unlike Jokic's, had the 22-year-old's back in this game. Fellow All-Star Karl Anthony Towns carried the Timberwolves for stretches of this game and finished the night with 23 points and 12 rebounds on 8 of 14 from the field, while Jaden McDaniels was enormous for the second straight game as the 10-point per game scorer came up with 23 points to co-lead the team in scoring on 7 of 10 from the field and 3 of 4 from 3. In all, there were 6 Timberwolves in double figures, which included 6th Man of the Year winner this year, Naz Reid, with 11 points on 4 of 7 from the field off the bench. And he outscored the entire Nuggets bench by himself, as Denver's reserves combined for just 5 points on the night. And frankly, it was a criminally negligent and pathetic performance from these gutless Nuggets players, minus Jokic and, at least for this game, Jamal Murray. But the real criminality has been purported by the front office in the assembly of this trash team. Only 4 other players outside of Jokic and Murray scored a single point in this game. The 3rd leading scorer in Game 7 at home for the Nuggets was Michael Porter Jr. with 7 points. 7! And for this fraud bum, who played more like his brother Jonte Porter with money on the line for this entire series, had his 7 points last night come on 3 of 12 from the field. And for the 7-game series, Michael Porter Jr. averaged 10.7 points per game on 37% from the field. And for a little bit of context here, he is playing out a 5-year, $180 million contract, which is good for $36 million annually, all for 10 points on 37% shooting for this series and 7 points on 3 of 12 in Game 7. Absolutely breathtaking futility here. And the entire Nuggets team, minus Jokic and Murray, combined to score just 21 points on 8 of 28 from the field, which is good for just 28.5%. And yes, some of this can be attributed to the Wolves' stifling league-best defense, but most of this is emblematic of how dreadful this team really is, which is what made Jokic's title a year ago so utterly impressive. But Jokic, who has had an unequaled lack of support throughout his career, more on that to come tomorrow, will not be taking his talents to some other star-studded team this offseason. He will not be throwing any of his teammates under the bus, though they all deserve it. He will just put his head down and take all of the blame for this loss, along with his playoff averages this year of 29 points, 13 rebounds, and 9 assists per game on 55% from the field. And he'll just work to get better next year, because Jokic is the kind of superstar we need, not the one we deserve. And he will be back next season, defying the odds with this same supporting cast of shit to try to do the unthinkable and amaze us again.